Okay, so you're thinking about becoming a real estate agent.
Yeah.
You probably heard the big promises, right? Limitless earning potential, being your own boss, total freedom to kind of set your own path. It sounds amazing, doesn't it?
It really does sound like the dream. But we need to inject a little reality check here, that dream. It needs a solid financial footing. Look, like any independent career path, being an agent means you're basically running your own business. And that takes investment, upfront and ongoing.
Right.
Especially if you're studying for your exam right now, knowing these costs isn't just, interesting market info. It's absolutely essential prep. It's about being financially smart from day one.
Absolutely. And getting you prepared strategically. That's exactly what we're diving into today. Welcome, everyone, to the Real Estate Exam Deep Dive by Exam Scholar Real Estate Edition. Our mission today, we're moving beyond just studying for the test. We want to help you think like a business owner, a financially prepared business owner. So we're going to break down let's call them, the top 5 biggest expenses you really need to plan for as a new agent.
Yeah, let's get into it. We can start with those initial costs, the ones you absolutely have to cover just to get in the door, the initial hurdles, you could say.
Okay, sounds good. So expense number 1, the absolute must-have, the gatekeeper, getting licensed. We all know you need the pre-licensing course hours. But what about the actual fees, the state stuff, the regulatory side? What does that really look like?
Right. This is where you need specifics. Let's put the course cost aside for just a second. Once you've actually done the coursework, you've still got state licensing fees. And these can vary quite a bit by state, but you should probably budget somewhere between, say, $400 to $1,200. That covers the application itself, the exam fee, background checks. Fingerprinting is usually mandatory, too. This is just the baseline legal cost to operate, non-negotiable.
Wow, okay. And it sounds like that period before you pay those final fees, the prep phase, that's where new agents can kind of get tripped up.
Exactly, that pre-licensing education space. It's unfortunately a prime area for, let's say, low-quality providers, or sometimes just outright scams. You see these really bold claims all over the place, guaranteed pass first time, or we have the exam answers. No.
Yeah, I've seen those ads. So what's a big red flag? What should someone studying right now really watch out for?
Well, first off, just use your common sense, right? If it sounds way too good to be true, it probably is. And second, ask what that pass rate actually means. Sometimes 100% pass rate is based on, 2 people who actually finished the course and passed. They often don't count all the people who dropped out or failed or just found the material totally useless. These places might sell you a high-pressure, often non-refundable course using old, outdated exam questions. It costs you money, sure, but it also costs you valuable time.
So maybe finding the absolute cheapest course isn't the best strategy. It's more about finding one that fits how you learn. Like, can you really absorb everything in an intense weekend boot camp, or do you need something more flexible, online maybe,
Yeah.
and then checking reviews?
Exactly. You need to figure out your learning style. And yes, absolutely vet them. Look for independent reviews, Facebook, Google, places where they can't just delete the bad comments. Make sure it's a worthwhile investment.
Okay, wise advice. Invest smart in that initial knowledge.
Precisely. Which actually leads us right into the next big expense area, developing your real estate education. Because, the learning doesn't just stop once you pass that state exam.
Right. Passing the test just means, the basic rules, the minimum required by the state. It doesn't mean you know how to negotiate a tough deal or, actually run a successful business.
Not at all. To really succeed, you need to keep learning constantly. You need to handle the jargon, understand market shifts, keep your skills sharp, things like contract law, finance updates. So people invest in advanced books, specialized conferences, business seminars, that kind of stuff.
And I'm guessing this area, just like the pre-licensing, can also be a place where people spend a lot on, maybe fluff.
Oh, for sure. You definitely see that. It's kind of the professional development industry. You'll find folks self-proclaimed gurus running these really high-fee seminars. Often it's more motivational speaking than actual practical real estate tactics you can use tomorrow. They charge a lot for info that sometimes, honestly, boils down to common sense dressed up in a fancy presentation.
So the takeaway is similar then. Do your homework. Get referrals from agents you trust.
Yes. Treat these education choices like serious business investments because they are. There should be deductible expenses, not just, expensive ways to network over coffee. Think about it. If you're going to spend $500 on a seminar, you should be able to clearly say how that specific knowledge is going to help you close, say, an extra $5,000 in business down the line.
That makes sense. ROI is key. Okay, so we've got the foundation, licensed and educated. Now we're moving into actually doing the business, right? Execution. This is where the money really starts flowing out, hopefully before it starts flowing in. Expense number 3, marketing. This feels like a big one.
It is, and it's probably the biggest variable expense. Once you're legally set up, you have to convince clients that you're the agent they should choose. Historically, yeah, that meant expensive stuff, print ads in the local paper, direct mail flyers, maybe even billboards.
Which must have been incredibly tough for a brand new agent, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're not making any commission income for the first few months, maybe even 6 months.
Exactly. Cash flow negative is a real thing early on. But the good news is the landscape has really shifted here. That's a huge advantage for new agents today. While those traditional methods are still out there, most modern agents are focusing their marketing spend, or at least a big chunk of it, on digital, social media, online ads.
But digital isn't free either, is it? It still requires an investment.
No, definitely not free. You still need a budget.
So let's get specific. For a new agent starting out, what are the marketing must-haves?
Passing the real estate exam can be hard, like really hard. Statistically, only about 50% of people actually pass the real estate exam on their first try. Those people that pass, they go on to become real estate agents. And the people that didn't pass, yeah, they either give up completely or have to try again. Both of these options are painful, disappointing, and upsetting. Exam Scholar Real Estate Edition has been named as the best real estate exam prep by multiple publications for 7 years in a row. If you are about to take the real estate exam, Exam Scholar Real Estate Edition is a no-brainer choice. There is no other real estate exam preparation service out there that comes close. To enjoy the longest membership time, lowest cost, real estate videos, audios, articles, flashcards, vocabulary, exam tips and tricks, a 1-year no questions asked refund policy, and be one of the 35,000 people that it has helped pass the real estate exam, then sign up in less than 5 minutes at www.realestateexamscholar.com.
The things you absolutely can't skip.
Okay, good question. Beyond just, setting up a basic Facebook page, I'd say there are 3 non-negotiables. First, high-quality visuals. That means professional photos for your listings. Maybe even drone shots, depending on the property. Spending a few $100 per listing here can instantly make you look more professional than agents using blurry phone pics.
Okay, quality photos. What else?
Second, a good CRM system. That's customer relationship management software. You just can't effectively track leads, follow up, and nurture those relationships using sticky notes or a spreadsheet. Not long-term.
Right, gotta have a system. And the third?
Third, a modest budget for targeted digital lead generation. Using platforms like Facebook ads or Google ads to actively find potential clients rather than just passively waiting for referrals.
Okay. So professional photos, a CRM, and some budget for online ads. That sounds like it can still add up pretty quickly up front. It's not just business cards anymore.
It's not. You have to think of it as setting up your digital storefront. You might save money compared to old school print advertising, but you need to shift that budget into building a professional online presence and having systems to actually handle the leads you generate.
Okay, that makes sense. Leads us nicely into expense number 4. Getting around. All that digital stuff is great, but real estate is still a face-to-face business, isn't it? Showings, inspections, client meetings.
Absolutely. You got to be out there. And this is the expense that can really sneak up on you. We're talking transportation costs. If you're working out in the suburbs, that means gas, car maintenance, extra wear and tear on your vehicle. It adds up fast. If you're in a big city, it's subway fares, bus passes, maybe tolls, parking fees. Parking fees?
Yeah, those can be brutal. And the original material had a couple of smart tips for managing this, right?
Yeah.
Something about taxes.
Yes, definitely. This isn't just about saving a few bucks on gas. It's critical for your IRS deductions. See, as an independent contractor, pretty much every mile you drive for business should be a deductible expense. So the first piece of advice is track everything meticulously. Use a mileage tracking app right from day one. Don't try to reconstruct it later. And plan your routes. Group showings geographically. Be efficient. Saves time, saves gas, and maximizes your legitimate deductions.
Okay, track everything, be efficient, good advice. And the second point was about using credit cards.
Right. Consider using credit cards that give you good cashback rates or points specifically for gas or transportation spending. Why? because you're going to spend that money anyway on gas or transit passes. Might as well earn back, 2%, maybe even 5% on those necessary costs.
But is using credit cards smart if you're just starting out and maybe don't have income yet?
That's a fair question. The answer is yes. And this is a big if you use it strategically only for budgeted necessary business expenses and you pay the balance off in full every month. It's about leveraging the reward systems, not about racking up interest-bearing debt. Very important distinction.
Got it. Smart use of rewards, not carrying debt. Okay, so we've covered getting licensed, ongoing education, marketing, and getting around. What's the final expense category?
The last one on our top 5 list is about professionalizing and networking. Expense number 5, membership with professional real estate organizations.
Ah, yes. You can't just sit at home hoping connections will find you, right? You got to get out there, meet people.
Exactly. Joining these organizations is often the main way you meet the other key players, the top pros in your local market. It's about building that network.
So when we talk about these organizations, what are these fees actually paying for?
Good question. Generally, you're paying dues at 3 levels: the National Association of Realtors, NAR, then your specific state association, and finally your local board or association. They all typically charge annual membership fees. And here's the crucial part, especially if you're studying for the exam right now. Membership in these organizations is often what grants you access to the multiple listing service, the MLS.
And the MLS. That's basically essential to do business, isn't it? You can't really function without it.
Pretty much. If you want to list properties for sellers or effectively help buyers find homes, you need that up-to-date, accurate data. And the MLS is where it lives. So while technically joining the realtor associations might be optional if you hang your license with a broker who isn't a realtor, practically speaking, if you want MLS access to be a full-service agent, these fees effectively become required. They can run into thousands per year combined.
Okay, so another significant ongoing cost to factor into the yearly budget. Keeps your tools sharp and your network active.
Yep, absolutely. Part of the cost of doing business professionally.
All right, so we've hit the top 5: licensing, education, marketing, mobility, and memberships. But we need to talk about the big one. The elephant in the room, maybe? The cost that wasn't in the top 5 because it varies so much? Brokerage fees.
Ah, yes. This is maybe the single biggest financial decision a new agent makes right out of the gate. We didn't list it as a top expense because, like you said, the structure varies wildly. It depends entirely on the agreement you make with your sponsoring broker. But make no mistake, brokerages will take a substantial cut of your commission checks. That's the deal.
Yeah, whether it's a 50-50 split to start or maybe 70-30, that percentage, it can feel like a big chunk when you finally close that first deal.
It absolutely can feel that way. And this is where you'll hear specific terms you need to understand. Things like the commission split, maybe desk fees, which is like a monthly rent for using the office space and resources, or a commission cap. A cap is the maximum amount of commission dollars the brokerage will take from you in a year. Once you hit the cap, you typically keep 100% of your commission for the rest of that year.
Okay, so splits, desk fees, caps, it sounds complex. It makes choosing a broker about way more than just the percentage split, doesn't it?
It's entirely about the value proposition. Look, if a brokerage is taking a hefty split or charging significant monthly fees, that cost is only worth it. I mean, only worth it if they are providing real, tangible value and return. We're talking strong mentorship, good training programs, legal support, maybe strong brand recognition that helps you get clients, lead generation systems, things that actually help you make more money than you would without them. It's not just a cost, it's an investment calculation. Are they helping you grow your business enough to justify their share?
That's a fantastic way to frame it. This whole conversation has been incredibly helpful, really breaking down the financial realities.
Sure.
It seems like planning for these 5 main expense categories, the licensing, the education, marketing, getting around, and the association fees. That's really the difference between just hoping for success and actually setting yourself up as a professional business owner from the start.
Exactly. Don't let the numbers scare you off, but don't ignore them either. Think of every single one of these costs as a necessary and usually deductible business investment. Document everything. Plan for these costs in advance. Maybe set aside some savings before you even take the exam. If you do that, you'll be way ahead of so many other new agents.
Solid advice. And hey, for those of you listening who are really focused right now on just passing that exam, on mastering all the material before you tackle these bigger business costs, don't forget to check out our comprehensive exam prep course. You can find it at www.realestateexamscholar.com. We cover everything you need to know to ace that test.
Absolutely. And maybe one final thought for everyone listening, especially as you start thinking about which brokerage to join. We just talked about how that brokerage fee, that chunk of change they take, really needs to be worth it in terms of the support and growth they provide. So here's something to mull over. When you start interviewing potential brokers, what specific core services beyond just a desk and a copier would you prioritize? What truly helps you get clients and close deals efficiently? Think hard about what makes that brokerage fee a worthwhile investment for your first few years in the business. What support matters most?